So here's an example of a Humboldt cut. And that's called the Facecut. Now I haven't popped it out yet. I'm going to pop it out with my axe. Okay, now when you're following a tree, the hinge, it's all about the hinge. So the first thing you do is make your face cut, and don't go in more than 1/4 to 1/3 of the way, and that's the general rule. Now, of course, there's certain situations, and if you're more advanced, you can add or subtract to that, but the general rule is to go into the tree about 1/4 to 1/3 of the diameter. That's the general rule. And you want your face cut to be nice and clean across, and you're going to have a hinge. So what you want to do is when you cut from the back, you want to cut at the same level as this top part of this face cut. You want to cut at the same level, or if anything, slightly higher. You don't want to be lower. And then again, in certain situations, there is situations where you're lower, but for general basic tree falling, you want to be a little bit higher. So I try to come right from the back about 1/2 inch higher than this top part of this face cut. And the way you tell the direction of your face cut is you use your chainsaw. And the chainsaw has these guides on it. This guide is like for sighting, and it has a guide on this side. So if I put this in here like this and get it where the bar is backed all the way into the cut, if I sight down this line, that should be where the tree is going to fall, because the tree is supposed to fall perpendicular to the axis of the cut. So if I made my cut this way, we call this 0 degrees, the tree should fall 90 degrees to that. And so I'm going to do the back cut, starting at the back here. And the thing is, you don't want to go all the way through, so you want to predetermine in your mind leaving a hinge. And so I'm going to say for a tree this diameter, I want about 1/2 inch hinge. This tree is about 16 inches, 14 to 16 inches in diameter at where I'm cutting it right here. So I want to leave about 1/2 inch of a hinge. And the hinge wood is really important, because if I go all the way through and I cut the hinge wood off, then the tree could fall any direction. It could fall backwards, it could fall this way, it could fall that way, but I want to leave a hinge. That way the tree falls on the hinge. The hinge is actually a mechanical device. It has a mechanical action. It's actually, the tree moves on it, and it moves and falls the direction 90 degrees to the axis of the hinge. Anyways, enough of that talking business, so I'll just give you an example. So before you make your hinge too skinny, get a wedge in the back for safety. And what that does is driving that wedge in here increases the length here. It jacks the tree up and it pushes the tree that way. So by lifting this part of the stem up, the other part wants to go down. So the whole tree tilts that way, right? Okay, I'm going to cut a little more, and then I'm going to drive this wedge in some more. Okay, now this tree's basically going to go over. I just got to drive this wedge in. There it goes. Okay. This pine, this is ponderosa pine. The hinge wood held pretty good. It's pretty flexible. Not that much, but you want to leave the hinge wood attached to the stump. There's a reason why. And I'll show you that really quick. When I cut the branches off, when you cut the branches off, I'm always trying to make work easier for me. So what I do is I leave what I call tripod branches. Branches that support the tree. I'll leave a couple of these lower ones. And then when I strip the tree of its branches, I'll leave some tripod branches, some strategic ones that are in the right locations. You don't need to leave a lot, but just leave a few of them, and it makes it so when you strip the tree clean and you get the top taken off, the tree is standing up on sawhorses, kind of like you got it on sawhorses, which lifts it up off the ground, which everybody cutting wood would like to have it off the ground, right? You don't want to cut wood on the ground unless you have to. So if the tree's already up off the ground, you can leave it up off the ground, which makes it nice because less chance of this touching the dirt and the rocks, right? So I leave a few tripod branches, and then this hinge wood on the back will actually hold the stump up when I get back to here. But see how this is standing up off the ground? The whole tree, it's about 2 feet off the ground, which is kind of nice. Not only does it make it easier to cut, I don't have to stoop over as much with my 026. And then usually by the time I get back to here where there's no tripod branches, the hinge will be strong enough where it'll actually hold the log in the air just like that, right off the ground. See that? See how it's being held up in the air? The hinge wood is just holding it, and as I cut back, it'll start standing up a little bit more each time. But I just wanted to share the basic principles of how that works, and hit the like button below and subscribe if you want for more tips and stuff like that.